Let's talk about the importance of taking breaks. Have you ever found yourself staring at the screen for ages, looking at the same sentence over and over again, and your brain just won't function? You can't think of anything. Well, the solution to that might actually be building in taking some breaks. And we're going to talk about the science-backed benefits of that and how taking breaks can help boost productivity and mental well-being, and how you can start to implement breaks and time away from your laptop, etc., into your daily routine. So the problem with overworking and doing too much, so the busy pace of modern life. So we now live in a culture that celebrates hustling, that unfortunately celebrates working too hard, but in reality our brains are just not designed to function like that. So if you think back to primitive times, how we were designed to work, we were designed to focus on one particular task all day long with no distractions, nothing, just literally going out to get the food or cooking the food or looking after the children or sewing the clothes. Now we have hundreds of tasks to do, not just work, but looking after the kids, school runs, thinking about the washing that needs doing, all of the different work tabs that you've got, family relationships, pets, cooking, all of those things that our brains are just not designed to function with all at the same time. So when we work non-stop and when we have all of these sort of like mental tabs open in our brain, our mental resources and our cognitive energy gets really depleted. It becomes really hard to focus. It becomes really hard to concentrate and be productive because we're literally using energy with every single decision that we make. It's called the cognitive load. So again, go back to those primitive times. The only one thing that we had to think about was the one role that we were allocated. Now we have so many little decisions, which then builds up that cognitive load, builds up the stress levels. When the stress levels build up in our brain, that's what then affects our productivity, our motivation, our mood, our sleep, everything else. So studies show that regular breaks can actually help to recharge your mental energy and improve that focus and productivity, to boost creativity and problem solving, and to reduce stress and prevent burnout. So if you are thinking that you need to push through the point of exhaustion to think that you will actually be more productive and get more done, then you are wrong. Our brains actually don't work like that. They work better with breaks. So why do our brains work better with breaks? Because it's something called our default mode network. So our default mode network is what our brain goes into when basically we are taking rests and having breaks and not necessarily focusing on much. And the default mode network is where our brain processes information, it finds solutions, it's basically like gardening for your brain. It's working away and it's getting rid of all of those little weeds and things that you don't need. And think about if we're not getting that time in, it's just building up and up and up, and those stress levels are going up and up and up and up and up, and then you can't focus, it's too much, you've got that fuzzy head. So activating our brain's default mode network via taking breaks is really important. So let's think about some strategies for taking breaks. And some of these you may have heard of before. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Pomodoro technique. So that's a really simple, effective method of working for 25 minutes, fully focused, and then taking a 5-minute break. And after 4 rounds, you then take a longer break of around 15 to 30 minutes. And that method works well because it aligns with our brain's natural attention span. So it gives it enough time to rest and recharge without completely losing momentum. And there are lots of Pomodoro timers and apps and things that you can get out there to help and support with that. Getting up and moving your body. So it sounds simple, but moving your body is one way that boosts endorphins, boosts serotonin, and those neurotransmitters that you create from a little bit of movement then help to reduce the stress levels and help to boost your productivity and your motivation levels. Sitting for long periods of time will drain your energy, not just physically but mentally too. Getting a change of scenery from like a little bit of movement outside can be really helpful as well. Do a quick little walk, go and get a drink, just something to get away from your desk. When we think about building breaks in, it doesn't have to be like 15-20 minute breaks. Even at first, if you're doing it in small steps and just, right, okay, I'm going to build in 5 minutes every hour to go downstairs and get a drink. Sometimes the best way to build breaks in though and reset is to do absolutely nothing. So that's the best way that we do activate our brain's default mode network that I mentioned before, just disconnecting, taking a few deep breaths. Those deep breaths activate your parasympathetic nervous system, where you can go onto your rest and digest mode and away from the fight or flight mode and just come back more focused and more productive. So when we allow ourselves permission to pause and to take those breaks, we don't actually lose time. Lots of us think that we are going to be losing time, but that's simply not the case. We're actually gaining time. We're gaining energy. We're much more likely to get the task done quicker. So next time you find yourself hitting a wall, just think, how can you start to take a break and come back stronger?